When we think about providing services, we literally think how much we actually do in exchange of how much we earn. When there's only 24 hours a day, the only way to earn more is to either hire more people or we have to increase the value per unit of time. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 powerful principles that we've been used over and over again to actually charge more fees for high value clients, but actually get your client to see a tremendous amount of value before they're actually signing up. In fact, this is the exact strategy that I use for 2 of my business to 7 figures, that's financial advisory and my coaching business, which I want to share with you step by step how you can deploy that too. And we call it the 5 value sequence. Now, the first step of the value sequence is position value. Now, with or without trying, every individual and company has its own value and brand. That is the perception and the experience our audience and customer having about us. And now if I want to mention about Coogee and Cotton On, straight away you will know which one stands for premium and which one stands for cheap. Now there's nothing wrong with each one of the brand and value positioning, just depends on what you want your service to be positioned. So I've got one of my mentors, his name is Taki, you can check him out here. Now he stands for only helping coaches or business coaches particularly to get to $1 million plus. So last year, 2019, he actually helped over 50 coaches to actually hit $1 million plus. That's what he stands for, and that's the type of customer that he attracts into his business. Now there are a lot of strategies out there that you can actually learn how to position your brand and value. But the first step, I believe, after the vision and mission that you're gonna set for what your company and who you are and what you stand for is really who you want to serve. More importantly is who don't you want to serve. And that would actually put you in a very sweet spot and actually standing out. So you're not actually providing all services to everybody. Now there are 4 ways how you can actually choose what kind of customer you want to work with. Number 1 is by the character of the customer. That's where they are right now, where they want to be. How do you want to position your offer to actually helping them bridging that gap? Second is by the size of the customer. Is that customer who's doing 8 figures a year? What about customer just starting up? There's nothing wrong either way, but where do you want your service to be positioned? And third is by the location customer. You could be having a bargaining power, for example, you're only working 1 practice in the senior CBD for this particular industry that will give you edges to actually work with them. The fourth is really to determine what kind of service or product that you want your customer to actually provide, even for them to be qualifying to your customer. Now, for example, we help service-based businesses, especially those who are actually in accounting and finance. That's where we actually come from. So we actually help those businesses, practices who's actually doing $1 million plus. We help them to actually produce content, build the audience, and actually help them to convert those audience to be a qualified appointments on the calendar. And that's all we do through organic. Now, we don't actually work with startups, but we're providing tremendous amount of value for free for the startup to actually consume our content. And we don't do advertising unless we're actually having a proof of concept in place that we see there's a reason why they should be spending money to actually scale their business. So that's the position where we actually sit. Step 2 is qualified prospect. Now this is a crucial step. It's just like a relationship. If you wanted to go out with everybody, yes, you get more dates, but no one actually take you more seriously when you don't actually put in this process in place. We've seen service providers actually open up the calendar to anyone, to everybody, and whenever they want the time to be. So even though if they're interested in your service in the first place, if you just open your floodgate to anybody at any time that they choose to, then the interest get dropped. That's just how human psychology works. And we strongly suggest that you set the questionnaires or survey. There's a lot of kind of forms out there that you can use. Literally that you get your client to actually complete a survey of questionnaire. That means that by them going through the actual questionings, they're understanding that what you want them as a client, so they actually try to qualify themselves in or out during the process they're even engaging with you. And that's a very powerful psychology, especially when you ask them, why do you want these services and what commitment do you have, range from 0 to 10, that will literally put them in a position where they're gonna think twice before even schedule a call. Yes, you're gonna get less meetings that way, but you're gonna get high value client who's actually gonna call or a meeting with you, who willing to actually work with you you because your setup, which is the expectation of your services and type of value that you can provide to your customers, is already there. So it's going to be very easy for you to actually sign them up as a customer, and at the end of the day, signing up high value with a high fee customer is the only thing that matters, and that's what this video is about. The third step is productize your services. Now, most people see the services just like a bag. The more thing they put in the bag, the more value that service perceived, because that we lack of confidence, or we just wanted to actually do more, so there's a more perceived value from our own mind as a service provider, which is not true, because that's only going to get you to actually burn out and running a very low profitable business. And the truth of the matter is, your clients really just care what they're actually going to get the result. They don't care the process. So we're never really gonna sell the process, which is the step that we actually do, but we're gonna sell the things that what they want, which is the result that they wanna get, and that's all matters. Say you have a broken teeth and you go to a dentist, you book an appointment, dentist does a diagnosis and say, hey, it's gonna be $5,000 and it's gonna takes me about 10 minutes. You go, what? 10 minutes for like $5,000? Or the dentist can go, hey, yeah, but what about if I charge you $5,000, it's gonna take you an hour? Really, which one do you prefer? And when the customer actually in a pain, they actually really want to get a transformation and result they want. They want the faster time possible and the best possible result. And that's what people really care. For example, we've been working with a lot of accountant and financial advisors. Now, in the old model that people focus on compliance, admin and transaction. But in the new model where we focus on coaching, actually solving a problem and creating a value. Now that doesn't mean the work is actually easy. It does require expertise, but it doesn't require a lot of time if we know how to do it. So instead of actually exchange time for money, we like to exchange value for money, which is really a perceived value that we attach for the service that we're providing to our customers. And this is a model that we like to use. It's the minimal amount of services that we can actually do to bridge the gap from where they are, which is the current situation, to the desired situation, and hopefully that does not compete with the current service provider in order for us to articulate the most amount of value for them to see that we as an offer and as the bridge to get to where they want to be. Another example will be if I'm an actual dating coach to actually helping a man to find the dream lady or the dream girl, then it's a matter of identifying what kind of girl that you want, where the girls hang out, how do you get there, and what are you gonna say the first sentence? What journey do you take on that sequence of nurturing that relationship? How do you do it in the first date? What do you do after that? And how do you actually get in a real relationship? So there's a step-by-step that we're actually mapping out to get from A to B. So that's the precise step that we actually do to delivering a transformation for our customers, and not to actually providing a whole bunch of services just to make us feel good about it. In fact, people will actually pay if you can package all your services into a pure form, actually solving that problem in the quickest time as possible. And the fourth step is limit offer. You have to make yourself limited. Nothing is good if there's a limited quantity of it. It's simply a demand supply, and that's the law how economy ticks. Now in here we do two things to actually limit our offering. That is add scarcity and urgency. Now the first thing we can use is time. Now if you notice, you go to booking.com or Motive, try to actually book a room, then you always notice there's a timer there that actually running and ticking. Although they probably have plenty available, but they're always gonna set a certain time that before this offer ends. And that's a strategy that get used by all size of different companies out there. And if you are a service provider, then this is the most powerful reason that you can use. And that's the same as us. If we really want to providing a powerful, very in-depth, great service and experience, you can only work with limited people at any given time, especially if they're on board as a new client. So that is a really good reason you're gonna explain to your customers, I can only work 3 to 5 people a month max. Now I've already got a couple of people who fill out the actual spot. Now I actually wanted to pick an additional 2 customers this month who's absolutely committed to actually get results for them, and for me to actually spending all my life and my commitment to actually work with them as a partnership. That you got. That is a powerful right reason why use your time is very, very valuable. And I kind of already touched this second one, which is actual quantity. So yes, time is one of the constraints that we can deploy to add that sort of scarcity, right? But the actual urgency, as what I talked about when you actually look at the website, it always has the quantity in the bottom. So there's always limited. There's 3 clients a month, or I can only work with 5 people every quarter, whatever it might be. There's always a number in it. There's no infinite, unlimited quantity. So that's the second way how you can add the scarcity into your offer when you're actually presenting it to a client or when you actually publish on your website. The third is we can use early bird discount. For example, I'm rolling out a new service offering. I'm happy to dive into a discount for the early people who want to opt into the services so we can actually work intimately and to make you to be one of my case studies. That way people feel like it's a fresh new offer and they get to opt in for a discount. And the last one we use a lot is fast action for discount, which means that if you take action within the next 7 days, we have additional bonuses, we'll have additional value give out, plus we're gonna give you a tiny bit of discount for the people who is willing to take action in the month of December, for example. That's another way to use your scarcity and urgency. Now the key here is to give authentic justification as in why the offer is actually limited. Don't try to make it up, but really come up with the model and actually believing in it. And more important is to be decisive on it. For example, if I'm gonna offering some bonuses before at the end of this month, and I'm gonna give you $1,000 discount, that means if this customer come in next month, the bonus will be gone, the price will be going back to normal. So you have to be decisive in order for those things to work continuously. The fifth one is set expectation. Now, this is probably the most important thing that you need to do to ensure that your client have an awesome client experience and also give you referrals. Your client never not gonna be happy just because your services, but they're not happy because we have not met their expectations. And the way how I pre-frame that is I let my customer know that for any service that we provide, in order for us to actually get the best result possible, it is a partnership. Because what we notice, if the clients not actually give them an input, it never actually achieve the awesome result as we expected. So we're set right up front, we'll tell them that there's gonna be work involved. We want to get result. We don't want just providing a services. And that is how we're going to keep our reputation, and we want to deliver the best experience as we can. For that reason, Mr. Customer, I'll require your input. I want to work with you. So is that okay with you? That is a pre-frame that you have to do during a sales process to make sure not only you can deliver services, but you're getting a good customer. And this is also what we teach in what we call love and leadership. Love means at the same time we have a big heart, we really care customers, we give them a lot of respect and love. At the same time, we're showing up as service provider with leadership. That means we have certain rules that we want clients to follow for the benefit of the client, and we want the relationship to be lasting. So therefore, a certain rules how we want work and how we want our clients to behave for the benefit of the owner, that would make the relationship really lasting. And so that's summarize what we have covered throughout the 5 steps. Number 1 is position value. Number 2 is qualifying prospects. Number 3 is productize services. And number 4 is limit offer. And last but not least is set expectations. And let me know in the comment section that which one of those 5 steps that you like to be covered in more depth and details that will actually help you. Now, if you really enjoy and truly enjoy the 5 value sequence so far, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll give you the most updated, fresh strategies and tactics of marketing, sales, and entrepreneurship. And also give me your thoughts. What do you think about this video? Any thoughts that you wanted to input? What do you do to actually charge high fees to increase the value of your service offering? Anyway, I'm appreciating you and appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye for now.